la like this.
Wow, I'm so nervous. I don't podcast often. Okay. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Orlando, aka Orlando, aka the Big Dick Bad Bitch. I'm your wonderful host today. I know, I love that aka so much. I'm your wonderful host today, and obviously this podcast isn't about me. Today we have wonderful guests in the building. They are an inspiration and a mentor. All three of y'all are one mentor to me. But we have Sucia NYC in the building.
Yeah, what's up?
AKA Dirty Girl NYC. But the reason why we're here today is to have an amazing conversation of how Sucia came to be, because guys' name and ladies' names are ringing off in the streets, like just randomly people I'm now starting to meet. And if I mention play party or sex party, Sucia's name gets brought up. So I want to introduce y'all, because most of the time we only see Luis making his short reels to promote parties. So there are two other faces to this conglomerate, and I want to introduce all of y'all today and just have some conversation, because I want people to know more about the whole collective of Sucia, right? So first, we're going to start off with Luis right here. Please introduce yourself, Luis.
What up, Brooklyn Lou, a.k.a. Well-Known Tone, 1/3 of Sucia NYC, Sucia Play.
Sheesh.
Morgana, no AKAs here. Yes, part of Sucia NYC.
Mm-hmm.
Very proud.
And I'm Gecko Jones, a part of the fam here.
Yeah. Gecko is the unicorn of the... Not just joking. So one thing I want to ask, because this is a question that I get asked too, is like everybody's role in this like play of Sucia, right? I just keep saying that, you know, they just all work together. Everybody makes it
Just
happen. So if you were to give some roles on like what you play when it comes to Sucia NYC and how you get everything going, what would you say you do for Sucia and the play space?
I talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I talk a lot. And then I kind of walk around in circles, pretending to do shit. And then these guys get mad at me. Pretending to be fixing shit up. No, I try to play my lane. I really feel what I've noticed, what I'm good at, is just reaching out to people, creating an air of safety, and just making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morgana, what do you...
I do like daily operations. I do the accounting part. I'm very good at details. So like detail oriented. I'm trying to make all the lists
Yeah.
necessary. Hold space for community. I
Mhm.
love that. Pretty much it.
Yeah. And Gecko?
I do the creative design and kind of the experience and the vibe of the space and the events that we put together. I put my energy into, you know, you walking into something that feels comfortable, feels elegant. You know, it's low enough light for you to get cozy and sensual.
Yeah.
And I'm also the resident DJ, so I create the atmosphere for the play party.
Nice. You also forgot to mention you are the resident bartender for these parties too.
Sometimes I try not to bartend as much. I want to give a shout out to Lachelle, who's been bartending most of our parties the last few months. But no, I definitely try to stay out from behind the bar nowadays.
Nowadays. So I'm happy to hear that y'all all play like your own part in making this like Sucia NYC is really wonderful.
Yeah.
Y'all really have no idea. But I'm happy to hear like the part that y'all play and how it all comes together, because, you know, it's not easy working with people you know. And then y'all are a couple at that, a married couple at that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, it's definitely not. I work with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's not easy to work with people that close to you. But how is it like just working together and also in a space that's not conventional, like the play party space, and being married at that?
She's really patient. She's mad patient, because I think in the way we look at the world and shit, I think I'm a little more bigger picture, and she's details. So it's like, you know, we managed to mesh in there somewhere. Yeah, she's a patient lady.
I'm glad you used patient.
Mm-hmm.
It's been, it's been good. A lot of, challenges
Mm-hmm.
along the line, but been we've been together for 9.5 years.
Nice.
So we kind of got used to,
Mm-hmm.
we already know each other, know what's gonna get us mad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even yesterday before the event, he's like, I'm not gonna ask her that.
Oh yeah. Like no. Nah, I think what I noticed is she kind of balances Gecko and I out in a lot of ways because
Mm-hmm.
Gecko is they're fucking workhorses. They just won't
Yeah.
stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she kind of like balances in between us. She's like, the third vote sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Now,
like nope, okay, yeah.
that is beautiful because I am a tour manager for Good Mom,
Yeah.
and I really realized like we all need like one person needs two people at all time. Like so I would need Erica and Mila. They both Erica would need me and Mila. Mila would need like both me and Erica all at the same time. And it's like this helpful hand of like balancing like all three of us at the same time is like really beautiful. And I love to see y'all do it because I've actually seen y'all in action behind the scenes and as the party is going on. So it's beautiful to see like how y'all work together to make this space like work so wonderfully for everyone else. Let's start from the beginning.
It's a whole community effort.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get into because you could just have an event space and just throw play parties, but y'all go further in creating a whole community. So how do we even get here, right? What makes you three go? We're gonna start throwing parties so people can fuck here.
Oh, we where did we meet you at Gecko? At Hacienda? Or
No.
We were introduced more properly at via Oz.
yes.
So
And
there's a no, it wasn't with Tiana. We were both at that party, and you guys introduced yourselves. And I think we exchanged math, but it was just kind of a quick interaction. There's a space here in New York called Hacienda that was in the New York Times recently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that one too.
Yes.
But there was a rope person there, and he called he had worked a couple of my parties because I was hosting an events as were they, and after he worked their event, he was he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, Gek, like I think you should meet this couple. They're doing something really dope, and it's similar. And if you guys put your powers combined, like it would be really dope." And so he invited us all three over to the spot, and we sat down in the backyard, lit one up, had a drink, and I'll tell you, like, not 10 minutes in, vibe was good. And, I was like, so, y'all want to do a party? Like, because what they were describing sounded dope. What I had was going, was starting off, but, I liked the direction I was going to. And so it was like, let's see what happens when we put it all on the pot.
Yeah.
And that first event there at Hacienda, hot fire. And,
Nice.
it's just, all right, cool. Let's do this some more,
Nice.
And we did a few rotations at various spots in the city. And I think, like fourth or fifth party, me and Simo and a couple other people, Morgana, are like loading out this, what do you call it? Like third floor walk up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're bringing down mattresses and like
Gotcha.
it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't really want to be doing this after the party. I want to be at the after party, you know what I'm saying? Doing drugs and getting laid. Like I've been DJing all night. Like I want to turn up now.
Yeah.
And me and Morgana looked at each other. It's like, yo, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta do this different. We need a spot. Why are we paying other people's rent to facilitate something that is ultimately like, for black and brown people, and we're paying, most of the time paying black folks or white folks rent. Like that's not the vibe.
Yeah.
Paying white folks is not the vibe.
I think the moment for me was I was driving the van at 5 a.m. 6 a.m. on 5-inch high heels.
Mm.
A van full of like all our decorations and everything. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That was the day of the marathon, right? That's
No, that was the day of the 90s party. Yes.
That was a marathon. We had a park. So we did a party somewhere on 4th Avenue Park Slope. And I forgot that Sunday was the marathon.
Oh, the Brooklyn
Yeah,
Marathon.
so
Oh.
everything's cut off. So we're walking out like 6 in the morning, like twitching, like, you know what I'm saying? Like scurrying, trying to, I remember that. That shit was fucking crazy. Yeah, yeah, that was a moment. And then I think for us, another aha moment or fuck that moment, we was at her old apartment and I moved in there for about a year. And we had started meeting people, and we had people over. And I don't know, I just had this moment of clarity where I looked around and I was like, yo, there is ass on my kitchen counter. There's ass on the couch. There's ass on the head of the couch. There's ass on the armchair. There's ass on the floor. There's just everyone sitting around naked and talking, and some people are fucking. I was like, nah. I was like, this is not the move right here. And then for shits and giggles, we were just really trying to get in the mode of practicing, like to look for places.
Yeah.
And Simo was like, let's go look at this place. And we walked in, and I think you and I, we were like, nah, man, this is like too much shit. This place was fucked up. And Simo was like, we're taking this place. We were like, yo, chill. This is like, chill, ma. This is too much. And nah, man, she's a force of nature. So we took it, and we spent like 3 months. 3 months throwing shit out.
Yeah, we moved in 2 weeks before the lockdown.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Oh, wow.
We got
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, we're like, New York ain't shutting down. This is bullshit. Unprecedented. We talking about it. You know what I'm saying? That shit, the stress settled in. But, it was worth it. I got to see Gecko do his thing, what he's capable of, which was really dope. Simo was in there. Me, I'm always like, let's do less. There's a lot. But I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And the outcome became the space that you came to.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so beautiful. Yeah. And I'm happy that Luis and Morgana was willing to do a party with you, because when I came to them for the first time, I said, hey, I want to do a party here. Luis was like, no. But it wasn't just a no. It was like, hey, you know what, before you do that, like, not because I dug your vibe, and I know how it gets. It's really easy to think you could throw a play party and not think about the safety, not think about the possible triggering people of it's a very dangerous thing, So I was like, you seem like a good brother. If you're serious about it, start building your own little community. Yeah. Start getting what was that? Gecko says the bouillon. Get the bouillon together and then come back in, because the thing about it is, for me, it's very important. Whoever's in our space, like, has to be safe, has to be top notch, because something bad happens in our space, even if it's not us, and it's a rental, it still blows back on us. Right, exactly. And I'd rather pass on money than get money that's funny. Funny money. I don't do funny money. Well, and that is one of the reasons why I trusted you even more with this space, because I care about people, and to see someone else go, hey, let's do this the right way, or like, let's put you through the ringer with some other parties, just to make sure that not only you're doing it the right way, but the people that are coming to your space are experiencing the right type of experience. And from that moment, I started to realize how I can play a part in like the play party space, with feeling like I can be a bridge, right, to people that aren't really in the space, and that have the proper type of interest and the proper type of intention, and then bringing them in, like, and saying like, hey, as Black and brown people, it's not really advertised to us, so we don't really know what directions to go, even if we have an interest or curiosity. So when it goes through podcasting, where it could like blast out to like such a range of people, and they can come and say, hey, I'm interested, And then, which is something I wasn't keen on before, there's the whole vetting form process and putting them through, getting that kind of information to know from them before we even like amass them in a certain place. I've learned so much just from like that one moment and from moments I've had with you, which is why I say all three of y'all are my like one mentor.
Nah, it's really about safety. You know, and I have to say, from a dude's perspective, what I thought as being safe and unsafe was changed radically because of Morgana's presence. Because it's a woman's perspective. They view the world differently. They experience it differently. You know, and as we met more beautiful Black queer people and transgender people, even more perspectives of what safety is and what could trigger. So it's like a constant evolving thing. Like, we deserve better. We deserve to center our joy and our pleasure in ourselves in a space that is safe. You know, and I think no matter what it is, whatever kind of party it is, if it's a regular party, like, just be safe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to go on a play party and get patted down. Like, what? Like, it's like going to a brunch and getting patted down.
Yeah,
and I've walked into play parties like, you about to pat me down? Like, what the fuck kind of, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
That's not
Is there a
fun.
bucket for guns or something? Like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? Take a ticket, come get your gap. And I'm like, no.
So what kind of that's the word I'm looking for. I feel like I am a bridge. How do you feel Sucia lands in like the play party space or just like the lifestyle space at that? Like, what do you offer to everyone? Because I have something that I assume that y'all offer, but I'm gonna let y'all answer first. Go ahead.
First is community and was always community. It grew, you know, organically. We weren't planning on, you know, blowing up, so to speak. Organically growing and just connecting with people.
Yeah.
And from there just enjoying and building connections and meeting their families and be like, okay, we can, you know, like go to a show and like have a good vanilla time and then after that just some adult time.
Yeah.
Just beautiful, you know? And at every, you know, like stage we're like, okay, I think we can, you know, like do this. And a long time we went just word of mouth.
Yeah.
So it wasn't advertised anywhere, just us meeting people, our friends bringing their friends, and that was it. And then, you know, 2 years ago we started like, okay, we feel like we're ready to, you know, to grow. The foundation is already there.
Yeah.
And it's strong.
Yeah.
I would say the word of mouth is still happening too, because I was working a live show for Good Moms, and the audio guy right next to me, we just chatting it up. He's asking, what are you guys doing after? I was like, oh, we're going to go to a play party after this. He was like, oh, man, yeah, I keep hearing about these things, man. Heard about this one group that does them. I think their name is Sucia. And I was like, that's who we're partnering. So I sent him like the vetting form. He was like, you know, even if I don't come, will I be known to other events? I was like, yeah, just fill out the vetting form. We'll have your email down. Don't worry about it. So yeah, the word of mouth is still wording strong.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's key. I know, like, the amount of work put into it, it's a lot. Like, the shit is like nearing social work almost sometimes, because I remember when Gecko brought up some of the workshops that we started with, there was, in the men's chat, there was some transphobic language going on, and the dudes in the chat policed themselves really quick. They were like, yo, this is kind of violent. And then Gecko was like, yo, we should do a workshop around that. Who was it? Who did the workshop?
Baron Fifi.
Yeah. And it was just around like identifying toxic masculinity in the Black and brown play space. And then from there, that kind of touch, we're like, okay, let's start doing workshops, and we're doing game nights, and just like, it was dope. But you know, it was like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and we live in this space.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
That is the hard part.
Yeah.
Like living in the space and facilitating so much room for community and you know, so you know, like that year particularly, you know, we'd have a meet, you know, like our game night, which was, you know, to put you on game, and like we'd have a workshop, and then we'd have like board games and stuff, and you know, like you get to know people in that kind of like somewhat competitive space. I can't even say somewhat about games like Uno and Spades. Like people get a little
You got
into
to
it.
see, you got to see like, oh, this guy.
But you know, we could have like, you know, a rental on Friday, you know, our play party on Saturday, and then a dance party on Sunday, which is what we were using to kind of like vet new people that were coming in as we were growing. And that's a lot of space to hold for people. And then, you know, sometimes people are more curious. They have questions. So throughout the rest of the week, you know, I would say, you know, mostly these two, because I'm not really the most social person. You know, but I acknowledge it. You know, like they're handing, you know, they're handling like, you know, people's questions, and like sometimes people just like want to get something off their chest, and it's like that's hours of your life sometimes. You know, to make space, to make someone feel comfortable, and you know, not just welcome, but like they're a part of community, and you know, you are coming into a space, and it's just like you're not just a ticket buyer. You know, you're coming into something that like you want to be a part of.
That is a difference between y'all and a lot of spaces. And I used to always wonder, like, how the fuck do they get so much people to trust them? But I realized that y'all go the extra step, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just we're throwing sex parties, which y'all have also changed my language. Like, I barely say sex parties when it comes to y'all or when it comes to us, because it's really a play party, because the best part of these events are not the sex part. It's actually that it's a great fucking party.
Yeah.
It's a really good party. And I really have to tell people like, oh, so people are you're going to fuck? And I'm like, no, it's actually a really good party. Like, we don't even have table service or bottle service, which we should really start talking about. But, but we don't have tables and bottle service. We have VIPs, but we brought back the dancing aspect to parties, the vibe aspect to parties, the like the additions, and having like the king spaces and stuff like that to like elevate like that type of experience, so people aren't just walking in and going, all right, gotta talk to somebody to fuck. I need to talk to somebody, and then sex. That's the only thing I can do here. So
it takes a lot. Like there were definitely like this last party. I came from the bar. Sucia USP, big shout out plug, Franklin and Union, Crown Heights. I came from my bar into the space, and Gecko's building the confession stall, right? And that's what I love. I think this motherfucker right here, these two, will be like, yo, you know what? It's the night before. let's do some wild shit that would take a regular person a week to do. So I walk in, I just hear the zzz, and I'm just like coming off work. I'm like, oh, he's fucking building a confession stall in the space. But I know Gecko, I know them, I know they're gonna get it together. So it's like coming off that, and then switching over to the party energy, and then the Guardians. Shout out to all the Guardians who come in and volunteer and just hold space for people. They came in. The music started. People were a little, apprehensive at first, and that shit melted away, because I think the most important thing a lot of people don't get is that we're in a space where the pretense is taken out.
When the shoes come off.
There's like no, like we know why we're here. I'm not saying that's the goal, but everyone's trying to get a little something. Experience a little something. So that's taken out the picture. You don't have to game anybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to come with like a slick line. It's like, hey, well, how you doing? And because we do, we have evolved from like, a chill sex party to a play party into a space where like sex and politics intersect. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about consent. We're talking about these things, and they tie directly to things that are going on around the world. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about bodily autonomy. There are people on the other side of the world who don't have any bodily autonomy, don't have any consent about what's going on in their lives. So, we're contributing a portion of our money to places like Heal Palestine, big shout out, and Children's Palestinian Relief Fund. So these things are there. It's interconnected. I'll hear conversations. I'll literally see someone getting head over here, someone having a conversation about like some political shit,
Yeah.
and then someone over there talking about, I don't know, like it took too many dick pills or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get this vast like array of conversations all within earshot.
Yeah.
You know, so it's I think that's really what separates us from other places. Because it's like it's not just here's the space, give me your money, and I'm gonna be like this. Just a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Like that there, I mean, you know, whatever. Sucia's dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, I put my whole name on that shit.
Yeah.
I put her name, his name on that shit. Like eyes closed. Like we're gonna keep doing the work. We're gonna keep pushing it, doing more creative shit. Like, like son, didn't you guys turn the inside of the house into a circus tent? Remember that shit?
That was beautiful.
Yo,
That was really beautiful.
Mylar everywhere. Like this
Yeah.
shit was a fucking circus tent in the basement. And I'm like, wow, y'all doing this is so much. You know what I'm saying? Another time, Morgana, she made like 1,000 little paper plate
Tyler.
jellyfish.
Coffee filters.
Coffee filter jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
And hung them from the ceiling. And we had lights and water lights. And I was like, come on, again, like, why y'all doing this? So when I saw the end result, I was like, all right.
Nah, you got it.
You
You need dreamers, man. You
Nah,
need
I know. I'm
dreamers.
just like, look, no.
And funny enough, the next week was a huge flood.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
I'm not a huge flow.
No, I should be
We
flooding.
called it under the water.
Yeah. I will say that this space is definitely helpful, not only for like individuals, but definitely also for couples, because the party that we had, which was the play party after party for Good Mom's live show tour, it was certain some things came up that that would come up like in a relationship. So for me specifically, someone had offered Mila drugs, very safe, legal drugs in the United States, right? And she was just like, you know what? Give me 1 second. Let me find out where my boyfriend is. Just so happened, the same person also offered me drugs, very safe, legal drugs in the United States. And I was like, give me 1 second. And so before, when we were just like individuals or when we were single, we'd be like, oh, yay, fun drugs. I know you, you're cool. Like, let's go into it. But now that we have, like, we're together and the consideration of the other person and let them know, like, hey, this is about to happen. Just giving you, like, the heads up. And and just getting the confirmation from the other person that cares about you. Like, all right, cool. Thank you for letting me know. And then at another point, I saw a friend of ours, Elise, shout out to her. She had some Wurtemberg wheels and some blades and some claws and stuff like that. And so I ended up getting tied up.
I saw you.
He was like a little kid. My man was like, what? Okay, I'm gonna get naked. Tie me up. I'm like, this guy.
So I
I
got
was like, who's sitting on whose face?
Yeah.
So as I was there and I was laying there getting tied up and like clawed and like knives just running over my body, like I look to the right and Mila is naked and like some other guy is naked and they're just like dancing, just like dancing regular to the music. And I'm laying there like, this is one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had. Like seeing it all encompassing, like coming together, and then being able to share this experience with my own partner. When I got home that night, when I tell you I bust her ass in that bedroom, oh baby, I was so fucking sexually charged up. Yeah. And then and then we finished having sex, and I'm laying there in her ears because I'm on a very legal drug in the United States, and I'm in her ear like, I just want to let you know I love you. I love you and I love our family. I love you. I see how your friends protect you. We really have a great drive. This is great. You want to have sex again?
That's what like, I think one thing that you touched on, and I want to point out, is you being able to watch your lady dance with someone naked. Mm-hmm. That speaks volumes on the work you've done around male ownership. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Which is a huge thing. It's like, you know, and I'm thinking from Matt's perspective, you know, obviously it's this thing that we have where we're like this, where like everything, and even in couples, like when you stop trying to be the center of someone else's life, and you're just like, look, like we don't have to be up each other's ass all the time. We don't have to like all my joy or every last good feeling I have shouldn't come from you. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility. And if you drop the ball once, you know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, you know, so I think that is a thing that I learned on my journey, you know, just letting go because the person is going to be there.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've been holding on to this person, but they're not going anywhere. So why am I holding on to them? You know, and it's just like a relief, you know? And for single people coming in, and we have a lot of sisters that come by themselves.
Yeah.
And that told me something too. And just in conversations with them, realizing that, you know, a lot of them are on their own journey. A lot of them are actively like trying to heal from sexual trauma or connect with their bodies. Or some people have social anxiety. I met this one real interesting woman who's like, you know, I suffer from extreme social anxiety. And she's standing telling me this naked. Right? And I'm like, all right. I'm like, she's like, but something about this space makes me feel comfortable. But I could see it in her a little bit once I was talking to her. And I was like, you're really fucking brave. Like you're coming out here on your own from, I think, like Connecticut or some shit. You know, and you're being you're glowing, you know, you're challenging yourself. So I think a lot of people don't realize what a healing space it is, because we do offer like the impact stations, the sensory stations, the music, the dancing, the camaraderie, the community, the blackness, you know. And one thing people don't get is like we are focused on BIPOC Black folks, but you know, white people are definitely allowed to come in. They just can't bring their whiteness with them. You know, there is no space in our community for whiteness as this thing that was created to counter us.
Yeah.
You know, just come in and be a human. It's a real human experience.
Yeah.
They're just coming and chill.
Come in and dance.
Come in and chill. Dance, man. You know,
Be naked.
Yeah, man. You know, like that's the whole thing, man. Get a little Sucia.
Yeah. I love that girl. So one of the things that stand out about your parties, not only is it an amazing party, but it's a very safe space, right? Word that gets thrown around a million fucking times, but you really do the work to make sure it feels safe. One of the things that I've learned from you and I love so much and everybody loves is this motherfucking consent speech, right? Was that always a thing, or did it come up like as time went on and you realized that it's very helpful?
We always do consent speech.
I mean, we did it at our first one.
You did the first one.
Yeah.
Started from the first one.
Yeah, because when we're doing our department, we knew everybody.
Yeah.
But even in that situation,
Yeah.
it still should be, because you just never know. You know?
I remember before we moved into the space, our consent speech was the consent speech first, and then we would go around in circle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody would get to introduce themselves and, you know, say what they want from the night or what their intentions. And just, you know, you would be like, oh, this is what she wants. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Which I think is great. And there's when it got too big, it just ends up just gonna take like an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I think giving it almost like a church vibe helps. You know, you're talking to people, not at them. You're connecting with them. You're not lecturing them. You know, you're not reading off of a paper. You're just, again, connecting with humans and letting them know when everyone is there. And then it's like, but also the work has been, there's steps to that. There's like the vetting form.
Yeah.
There's individual conversations. There's the meet and greet beforehand. There's, you know, the three of us walking around talking to people.
Yeah.
You know, there's our community members, the OGs who've been there forever talking to people. So yeah, the Guardians. Now the Guardians, man, I love my Guardians.
Love Guardians, man. They make shit
They
so
are
much
so dope.
easier.
There were some birthdays we didn't realize. Who was it? Sir Nick. Shout out to Sir Nick Diamond.
Evita and Fernando.
Avita, Fernando, Avita Sawyer's, man, she's dope.
Yeah.
But you know, we brought a little birthday cake out,
Mm-hmm.
and did a birthday thing, and it's just like I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, like I think another thing that separates us from other houses is that it's not an ode to our egos.
Mm.
It's not like we didn't create something so we could be the cool kids in high school, like, you know, just trying to work through our trauma in the worst way possible by creating something. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
Yeah.
fucking we're grown ass people, like, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What was I going to say? The safety has been very important. I've loved it so much. And oh yes, someone had recently asked me it's a story about safety. Someone had asked me what am I about to be what I'm about to do on the night that we threw the party. And I was like, I'm going to this play party, and they said that, oh, did you hear about what happened in the Daily News about Hacienda? And I was like, no, what happened? It was like, you know, there was some violations or stuff like that over some time. And, you know, and they said, this is why you got to worry about those spaces. And I was like, well, things like that is the reason why I partner and throw play parties, because if I don't do it in a trusted space where I know that I'm going to have the correct intentions, then you're going to get more of this. Mm-hmm. And so I was happy and proud to say that, because I know partnering with y'all, like, safety is such a big thing that we know how to navigate or work through it. Or it's not, I don't truly don't believe something you can control, but it is something that you know how to go about after it happens. So how is it with safety? Because I know we can't always control everybody and everything, but how is it with all of these modalities in place with safety in Sucia NYC?
We make sure that if anything happens, consent violations, we're there. Mm-hmm. We're talking to both parts. We want to make sure that we have the whole story. We make a board. We consult with everybody. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that they're, you know, they have, they go through
Restorative justice, if asked for.
If that would work.
If it's asked for, yeah.
Right. If not, they get banned, or they get temporarily banned, or forever. It happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just think about it. It's like as safe as we are, nothing's 100% safe. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be something. There's always going to, and people don't get, like, it's not a consent violation. It's just someone grabbing your ass and you didn't ask for it. Mm-hmm. There's little things that fuck with you. The hand on the small of the back when you're walking by and someone touches you and you're like, I didn't ask to be touched. Yeah. And then you're left with that. You know, and who knows what kind of things you struggled with in your prior day or in your life, where it's just like, I'm being touched again. Yeah. I didn't ask for it, and I'm here. So things like that, you know, we've kicked people out for doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, we just saw you walk by 2 or 3 people and graze. Yeah, you know, like, no, you got to go. Like, this is not it. And I'll, you know, we've kicked out friends.
No,
like,
nice.
People go like, nah, like, it's not, sorry, you got to go. Like, this is especially you, bro.
Yeah, you should know. You should know better.
That shit is, you know. I know it feels weird, right? I know. Let's, you know.
It's also very important to make the distinction between a trigger and a challenge in these spaces. It's something that is triggering and I cannot get over it, or it's something that is challenging me and that I can learn from it and heal. So we, you know, there's groundbreaking moments.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's constant reassessment. Like, okay.
You know, I've recently in a couple of the consent speeches that I heard Luis give, kind of started to shift from using the term safe space to brave space, because it does take courage to walk into these spaces. And, you know, facing this discomfort that I'm feeling, like doesn't necessarily warrant like some other person's cancellation in the community because they asked you a question, you know. And those kind of conversations, and that distinction is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask because we're talking about everybody else, and Sucia and how it makes them feel, but um, what does Sucia NYC do for y'all? Like just seeing this and being the host and being able to put this on for people and seeing the result of the safety, the fun, the community. Like, what does it do for y'all individually?
My background prior to holding this space is I had run several different kinds of different nightlife spaces, and I was doing a Latin rave for that community and playing Afro Latin music, and to shift into holding something more sensual, but still with the intention of it being a BIPOC centered space.
Yeah.
Felt equally important, and coming like I started right around the time of the Me Too movement, like where I started taking interest and exploring this world. It seemed really, really urgent to me to kind of like heal what felt like a rift between the masculine and the feminine, and shouts to all my two-spirit alphabet people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's creating spaces to have unique experiences. It's like for me, I'm a person that like if I want to go pay cover to hear a DJ play, I want to hear things that I've never heard. If it sounds just like Hot 97 on the taxi right there, I'm at the wrong place. That's not what I paid to go see. And so if I want to go have an experience, I want the music to be dope. I want the lighting, the sound, the performance, everything to be really like, wow, that was an amazing night. That was worth the investment of my time and energy and money or whatever. But like, walking away from that was a fantastic night. I love creating experiences like that. So that's what I get back from it.
Nice.
I get healing. I get community. I get to be creative. And I love that. Connection. I get to be a part of this wonderful organization that not only just creates a brave space for people to enjoy, to meet people, and so on.
Yeah.
I think a couple of things. In a cool way, I get my performance nut off because I came up performing and community building, so it's like a segue into that. I like seeing people happy, and then it kind of evolved into like I like seeing people having breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Like that for me is like super dope. Like that's like okay, cool. Like you pushed through something, or you were in a space where you could get out of what you were in.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that. Yeah.
I would say for me, makes me feel empowered.
Yeah.
That brave space that you said is really like on point because further than it being a safe space, it really is empowering to know that I have the power to speak up, to say something, and that I have people that are gonna back me. And then that's I think that's a lot of that's something that really is on the mind of possibly like women when they come into a space is like even if I say something or I have the power or bravery to say something, will I have the execution after it, right?
Yeah.
Like will somebody listen to me? Will
Yeah.
somebody like actually act on what I'm saying and believe me? And so I feel empowered in the space, just knowing that it's so safe that I can say something, that is so comfortable that I can speak on the things that I want, and just seeing everybody so happy and free really like charges me up and like empowers me, and then I just go home and fuck the shit out of Mila.
That's beautiful. And to say, and to say no, and like the space to be able to accept a no.
Yeah.
Accept rejection. Work through all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. All right, beautiful people. Can we give an outro, right? Where can the people find Sucia NYC, y'all individually, y'all as a collective, y'all as a party, y'all as fun, y'all as safe and bravery? Not. Where can the people find y'all individually and as a collective?
You can find us at Sucia NYC on IG.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to point out that Morgana is also running Sucia Femme.
Mm-hmm.
And then in tandem with Max and Ashley, there's a Sucia Queer,
Mm-hmm.
which is dope. I guess based on the last party, no cis hetero dudes allowed, so Gecko and I had to go sit in the. We sat in this dude's van and just watched like fucking what was that? Gaia, the alien TV show. Like 6 hours of alien show. Like, they don't want us straight niggas in there. It's cool. It's cool. No, but that's the thing about holding space. Like, we're not needed, and if it's cool.
It's all
Like
good.
whatever.
We're gonna throw a straight men play party. It's only straight men there.
You know
all
what?
men. Straight.
That was brought up. In the chat, and it was like, all right. I mean, cool. but we do have guys' nights.
Yeah.
We'll go out. The guys' nights are always. I love being around brothers, but the setup is a little underwhelming sometimes. Like we'll get there, and it's like the ladies' night. They had charcuterie boards out, grapes, like all this beautiful shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to the guys' night. I'm like, y'all literally have a bowl of chips here, a bowl of chips, but they're still fun.
Some hot Takis.
Hot Takis, yo.
What we gotta do is the same thing that the women and the queers do to us. We gotta have them set up and then kick them out.
That's
Y'all can't be
hilarious,
here. It's a
man.
straight party.
Gotta go. We're gonna just be here and we're gonna devolve. Just all of us right here. Fucking, it's gonna smell funny when you get back. It smell like feet. Yeah.
There's
And
also Cuero NYC.
Cuero NYC, learn about Cuero.
Yeah, so I've been dabbling with a kind of like a sex in Spanish, in Spanglish kind of vibe, and lets me play boleros and get romantic in that Latin lover kind of way. And that's a joy for me and for us because it lets me touch musically into like what my background is. And it's just like my brain works in 2 different languages, and like being able to kind of flex on that side is nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh wait, also Sucia Borican. Shout out to Taina, shout out to Ana, shout out to Vulgar Maravilla in Puerto Rico. We're starting a project out there. And May 18th is going to be our first meetup dance party to prepare for late fall, where we're going to have an actual play retreat out there. We're bringing people out from here to mesh with the folks that are down there. Because I know a lot of play parties that are traveling will just go to a resort, right, and just stay there. Like, nah, we're here with the people.
Nice.
And it's gonna be some serious vetting. Definitely understand that we're not going to a resort. We're gonna be around real people. We're gonna learn about the history of the place. We're gonna have entertainment that is indigenous to that space. So don't ask for burgers and shit. Don't do that. Don't ask for R&B because we going straight Boricua style for that. And then we're hoping to go to different places. Just wherever there is a Black community or of the diaspora. We're gonna go there and build with social workers, build with social activists, build with community organizers. Always with the queer population. They just always seem to be ready for this event. Yeah, it's the heteros that fuck it up. So definitely,
you gotta get better heteros.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do.
Wow, it was so good to interview you all, and I love partnering with y'all. Fellas, y'all are amazing, but working with Morgana behind the scenes is top notch. We are on point. It's great.
Morgana is like, I'm just like, Oh my God. So sometimes I feel utterly useless. I'm just like, I don't know where anything is at. I don't ask Morgana. I don't-
Nah, but working with all of y'all and seeing y'all attribute different things to like this space and like I said, being a mentor to me, it's beautiful. I love y'all. Y'all are amazing, man. And
Thank you.
I love you.
and yeah,
Love you, bro. We love you, bro.
I try
It's a
my best to
pleasure
do my
working with
best.
you guys.
Yeah, it's a pleasure doing all of these things with y'all, and hopefully I could become the second unicorn to y'all alongside Gecko.
Yes. 427. 427, LA, yes.
Oh yeah,
We're
Good
doing it again.
moms.
by this
Bad
comes out,
choices,
the
collabo.
427 will be long past by the time this
Yeah.
comes out. But we will have play parties after this episode is out. So please,
Quarterly.
quarterly is coming.
Quarterly.
Watch out, LA, we taking over. But subscribe to us. This is Lips to Lifestyle,
Yeah.
conversations about the lifestyle from people in the lifestyle.
There you go.
So subscribe to us, listen to us. You'll know more about parties, more about events, more about us. And other great, amazing people. I am Orlando, aka Horlando, aka the Big Dick Bad Bitch. I really have the greatest AK in the world. And thank y'all for listening.
I never knew there was a
La 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 like this.